All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about what it really takes to succeed in some of the world's most dynamic emerging markets. And we're going to use Bangladesh as our case study, a place where massive opportunity meets some pretty serious complexity. So how do businesses actually find their way through these exciting but, let's be honest, challenging waters? Well, they use what we're calling a modern business enabler. Let's break down exactly what that means.
First things first, let's talk about scale. You see this number? $450 billion. That's the projected GDP of Bangladesh for 2024. This isn't just a number. It's a signal of a market that's growing at an incredible pace, absolutely brimming with potential for trade, investment, and new ideas. A number like this doesn't just whisper opportunity, it's practically shouting it from the rooftops.
But, and this is the big but, a huge sea of opportunity can also be pretty overwhelming, right? How do you find your footing? How do you connect with the right people? And most importantly, how do you turn all that potential into actual, sustainable success? That question is exactly what we're going to unpack today.
To answer those questions, you need a navigator. Someone who knows the terrain, understands the currents, and can actually see the destination. In the business world, we call them consultants or enablers. And for our case study, we're zooming in on one from Bangladesh, business consultant MD Joynal Abdin.
With more than 18 years under his belt, his whole career is basically a blueprint for this role. By founding organizations like Trade and Investment Bangladesh and getting deep into chambers of commerce, he's made himself that crucial link, that bridge between local businesses and the huge global market out there.
And if you look at this career path, you can see it's a really deliberate journey. He's moved through the very institutions that literally shape the country's entire business landscape, from the biggest chambers of commerce to foundations that support small and medium businesses. Now, this gives him a huge advantage. This isn't some theory from a textbook. It's deep, on-the-ground experience in how business actually gets done.
And all that experience translates into a really specific and really interesting set of skills. Just look at the blend here. It's part traditional trade stuff, matchmaking and export strategy, and part totally modern, digital necessity, like marketing and web development. This combination right here, this is the core of the playbook.
So what's actually in that playbook? What are the tools a business enabler really uses to get companies growing? Let's take a look at the key components.
Okay, it all starts right here with mentorship. And we're not just talking about giving a little advice here and there. This is about building a roadmap. The whole point is to take a raw idea, something an entrepreneur is really passionate about, and help shape it into a sustainable, viable business that has a real plan for getting into markets and actually growing.
For so many businesses, the biggest wall they hit is their own country's border. Exporting is just complex. You've got new rules, new markets, partners you don't know. So a service like this is designed to completely demystify that whole process, giving them everything from market research to help with compliance. It makes going global feel actually doable.
And this shows you exactly how it works in the real world. A huge, scary thing like going global gets broken down into 4 clear, manageable steps. You start by finding the right market. Then you connect with the right people. You navigate all the paperwork. And then you build a plan to scale up. It just turns chaos into a clear process.
Let's just zoom in on that matchmaking piece for a second. See that word verified? That's the key. In international business, trust is absolutely everything. Anybody can find a contact online, right? But a real navigator, a real enabler, connects you with partners who are credible, reliable. In a market where relationships are make or break, this is a total game changer.
And of course, in the world we live in, that first handshake is almost always digital. Your website, your social media presence, that's your global storefront now. Having a strong online identity isn't just fluffy marketing anymore. It's a fundamental part of your company's credibility and your ability to even connect with those international partners we were just talking about.
Okay, so we've seen the tools in the toolkit. Now let's talk about why they matter so much. How do these services actually fix the real-world problems that stop so many promising businesses in their tracks?
This right here is the heart of it all. On the left, you see the common hurdles that trip up so many businesses. They don't have the right networks, the paperwork is a nightmare, nobody can find them online, and they don't really have a clear strategy. And then, on the right, you see a targeted, specific solution for each one of those problems. This isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. It's like a precise diagnosis and a custom treatment plan.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? Business opportunity does not automatically guarantee business success. There's a gap between those two things. You need a bridge to get from one to the other, and that bridge is built with strategy, networks, and, well, actually getting things done.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway here? It's that the role of the business consultant, that navigator, is changing in a really fundamental way.
So who does a model like this actually help? Well, it's a whole range of people and companies. On one side, you have the local businesses trying to export, or the startup that just needs a clear plan. But it also helps the other side of the coin, the foreign importers looking for great products, or the international investors trying to find reliable partners on the ground. A true enabler helps both sides of that equation connect.
And this is the real shift. The modern business enabler doesn't just write up a nice report and then disappear. Their job is to actively enable success. It's about combining that high-level strategy with the hands-on work of building networks, creating a digital presence, and actually executing the plan. It's advice, but it's advice in action.
Which leaves us with one final thought. Look, whether you're in Bangladesh or anywhere else, the global economy is complex. It's full of opportunity for sure, but it's also packed with challenges. So the real question for all of us is, who's your navigator? Who is helping you chart the course from potential to profit?